Hey Eugenia, it's Dustin. So today I have a great video here for you. I love doing documentary videos so much, kind of like the Mount Shasta video that I did, and the Caracal video, yeah. But I just love doing documentaries like crazy. So today I am going to tell you about the Ancient Redwood Forest, which is one of my absolutely favorite places to go and to be in, and it's just absolutely amazing. And yeah, in my last video going up to Fish Lake, those are beautiful woods up there. They're old woods, but they're not ancient woods. I love all forests. All forests are just absolutely gorgeous, but my favorite are the redwood forests. They are very ancient and old. So now sit back and relax and let me tell you all about the beautiful redwood forest. So the California coastal redwoods is a beautiful ancient grove of redwoods. Well, it's made up of a multitude of different groves of redwoods that is located on the northwestern coast of California. And it starts about Crescent City. Crescent City is almost at the Oregon border at the very top of northwestern California, and it goes all the way down south through Eureka, California, Ferndale, and then all the way down through San Francisco to Monterey Bay. So yeah, all that in green there is all the beautiful ancient coastal redwoods that line the coastline. Yeah, it's about a 450-mile long strip that also includes the Big Sur region. Big Sur is a beautiful area down near Monterey Bay, just south of it actually, yeah. The oldest redwood trees found on record were actually found in ancient fossils, and they stretch all the way back to the period where the dinosaurs ruled. Yeah, which is about 200 million years ago. And that's actually just the beginning of the Jurassic period of dinosaurs, is when redwoods, we know, that have first started to emerge. Yeah, sadly, the redwoods have actually been logged and cut down for quite a long time. Since the early 1800s, people have been cutting down redwoods and using them for building houses and fences and all kinds of building materials and stuff like that, which is really, really sad. But currently about 5% only of the original old growth of the ancient redwoods still remains intact. So 95% of the old forest has been cut down, which is really sad. But luckily there are measures in action to protect the remaining ancient redwood groves. Yeah, there's many parks where you can find the ancient redwood groves. I got a little list here. One of them's the Big Basin Redwoods, Redwood National and State Park, and Humboldt Redwood State Park. Those are the main redwood forests that you can find there in the California coastline. I personally, my favorite grove is actually called Jedediah Smith State Park, or Jedediah Smith State Redwood Park. Which is a beautiful park, and that is up near the top of Northern California by Crescent City. And that's pretty much the main grove that I've gone to. You can just walk all over in that beautiful area. It's about 2 hours from my house, but yeah, absolutely beautiful right there in that area. But of course, all these other redwood state parks in northwestern California are going to be just gorgeous as well. It's going to be the same ancient trees. So, and these parks actually have the majority of the ancient redwood groves that are still standing. So that 5% I was talking about these parks are basically containing the rest of that 5% that is left. So, yeah, most of the remaining redwoods is actually protected by the organization Save the Redwood League. So they've banded together to help protect the majority of the rest of these remaining trees so that they are not cut down or destroyed in any way. So yeah, the Save the Redwood League was actually established in 1918, so over 100 years ago, and since then they have been working really hard to restore and protect these beautiful ancient trees, because I mean, these trees are so old. Once they're cut down and destroyed, I mean, you got to start all over again. I mean, these are basically it's like a living artifacts. I mean, they're just so precious and they're irreplaceable. So I'm so glad we have organizations like that that will protect the rest of these remaining beautiful old groves. And so far they have protected over 200,000 acres of redwood trees, and that number keeps growing every year actually. So redwood trees are seriously big. I mean, these trees are so massive. I mean, so massive that you could, which people have done before, you can cut a hole in them and fit a car through and pave a road and drive right through them. They're just so massive. I mean, they could be as big as a small house, basically. And these trees are one of the oldest living organisms on Earth, and some of them are over 2,000 years old. There are a few species of trees that are older, but redwoods are one of the oldest and biggest living organisms on Earth. So yeah, 2,000 years old. So a lot of these old redwood growth forests, they were actually small little sapling trees when Jesus was alive, which is pretty crazy when you go in and you put your hand on one of these trees and you think, I'm touching a living tree that was alive, or it was just starting to sprout and grow when Jesus was alive. I mean, that's just mind-blowing to me. I just think it's amazing to actually be able to touch history, you know, like antiquities and artifacts that aren't alive, that were from time periods from long ago. I mean, it's like you're kind of going back in time, but to touch one that's alive, that is just that's just a whole different feeling, and it's absolutely amazing. So a lot of these trees, I mean, they are extremely big, but they are also extremely tall. A lot of these can max out at over 350 feet tall. So that's like as tall as a 30-story skyscraper, like one of those Las Vegas hotels. It can reach the top of one of those high-rise hotels. It's just unbelievable. So like a 10-story building would be dwarfed by one of these massive redwood trees. I mean, these trees are just so high, you're standing on the ground and you can't see the top of the tree at all. I mean, it's so high up there, you would actually have to climb up into the tree to see the top of the canopy in the tree, or of course be in a plane to fly over to see it. But you're standing on the ground, you just can't see the tops. They're just so big. And like I said, they are seriously wide, huge, big. Some of them are 27 feet wide or more, and that is extremely big. My apartment that I'm standing in here, it's about wide from here, because the window is right in front of me, to way back at the wall. It's going to be about that wide as my apartment. So that's pretty crazy. Like I said, you could actually carve out the inside of the tree and make your own apartment inside, because it's as big as where I'm living. So that's unbelievable. I mean, it sounds like something that would be in a fantasy game, you know, kind of like the movie Avatar with Home Tree, this massive tree that they live on and around. It's kind of like that. I mean, it just seems fantasy-like that something that huge living exists, you know, but it does. It's amazing. Yeah, a redwood tree is built extremely tough and strong. The bark on this tree is 12 inches deep on some of them. That's a foot deep of bark. So, I mean, it is made to just, it's like built like a tank. It can just withstand pretty much anything. It can withstand forest fire. That's why these trees are so old. They can just, forest fire is like, you know, a forest's biggest enemy. but actually forest fires are needed to revitalize the forest and keep the nutrients in the ground rich and make way for new growth in the forest. So these trees, I mean, they're so strong. I mean, they can withstand pretty much any forest fire, and that's why they keep standing. And they actually need the forest fire to thrive as well, which is kind of a conundrum in a way, but it's true. And the tree is also very rich in tannins, and tannins actually help the tree so that, you know, stuff like pesky insects and things like that don't carve into the tree and burrow deep in, because, you know, insects can destroy stuff easily. I mean, you know, insects can destroy your house, so they could easily destroy one of these trees, but very rich in tannins, so it protects them from these insects destroying them, you know, drilling into the tree, and then the tree would rot from the inside out or whatever and fall apart. But yeah, the environment in which these coastal redwoods are found are very moderate environments with very nice lower temperatures, and moisture is abundant. Yeah, heavy rain will satisfy the needs of water for these trees in the cold season, and in the warm season they actually use fog to satisfy their water needs that they collect as the fog, you know, mystifies around the forest and everything. Yeah, what the tree does, it actually collects the fog on its needles, and it absorbs that moisture into the tree as it collects it, and then there's a lot of remaining droplets from the fog on the needles that actually drops to the forest floor, and then the tree absorbs that moisture through its root system and everything. Plus that also gives a lot of moisture to you know, other forest dwellers around there, you know, ferns and flowers and plants and maybe some other kinds of trees. So it's a whole kind of ecosystem that works together, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, redwood trees are very fast growing trees. They can grow up to a foot a year, so that is pretty fast. Yeah, redwood trees, they have actually very small cones for a tree their size. I mean, these cones are like only about an inch long. They're very, very small. You know, they could probably be as small as maybe a large grape or something like that. And they contain about 20 to 24 seeds per cone for reproduction. And like I said, these trees are so fast growing, they use a ton of water. Some trees can use up to 10 gallons of water per day. I mean, that is a crazy amount of water. As you can see, a redwood forest is a very complex ecosystem. And there is just abundant life all around on the forest floor, but also living up high in the canopy in the trees, there is all kinds of life that lives way up there, high up in the canopy. Yeah, there's a huge variety of animals that can be found in redwood forests. You can find deer, let's see, I made a little list here, bobcats, mountain lions, coyotes, gray foxes. I love foxes, one of my favorite animals. Flying squirrels, I love flying squirrels. I mean, they'll climb up in the tree, and then they'll have these like web things that come out from their sides, and they kind of glide. So they jump off the tree and they just kind of glide through the air. It's pretty funny. I've seen animals where a flying squirrel would come by, and he's like a deer standing there, and the deer's like, oh my god, and this flying squirrel just flies through it, and the deer's like, what the hell was that? You know? I just think it's kind of funny. They're kind of like cartoonish in a way to me, but yeah, flying squirrels, elk, black bear, and many more animals. There is a lot. I have to say, one of my very favorite animals in the redwood forest is the American pine marten, right there. Pine martens, I just think, are the most adorable little animals. They kind of look like a mink, you know, kind of like I think they're part of the mink family, but yeah, they're really cute and cuddly like a mink. Yeah, the American pine marten, they're about, you know, up to about a 1.5 feet long, and they have about a 9-inch tail on them, is about average, so they're an average size little animal. These guys are extremely agile and dexterous. I mean, they can climb way the heck up into the trees. They live, you know, most of the time they're living in the trees all the time. So they're make their little home up there in the tree, and yeah, climbing all over it and everything else. And always looking to hunt, of course, hunting little rodents and just small little things, mice, stuff like that. Yeah, another amazing creature is another one of my favorites. I am a huge fan of owls. I love owls. And this is the great northern spotted owl right here. It's a beautiful little owl there, and they call the redwoods home all over the place. So yeah, they are pretty numerous in the redwoods. Yeah, like the pine marten, they are always keeping a watchful eye up there for little rodents and mice and stuff like that. And they are, of course, like all owls, nocturnal and basically hunt at night and everything like that. But I have, up in the forest, like at Fish Lake, I have seen owls flying around in the day sometimes. A couple times I saw an owl flying from tree to tree. I thought it was pretty amazing because usually it's at night. But yeah, if you are lucky enough, you can see an owl flying around in the day. And the great northern owl, you can as well. You know, one of my favorite features about the redwood forest is on the forest floor. You have sword ferns, which I love. You got all kinds of carpeting moss that cover pretty much everything. It's just like a green wonderland in there. You got all kinds of different little wildflowers that can grow in low light. Just kind of everywhere in there. I mean, it's just like a green oasis. It's so beautiful and lush. They thrive because of the dampness. There's just a lot of moisture down there that just gets held in underneath the canopies of those trees in the forest. And not a lot of sunlight gets in there because the canopies of the trees are so big, and if they're close together, it's just going to be constant shade. So it's a lot of plants that thrive in the shade and high moisture. So mushrooms, you're going to find a lot of those too. But yeah, I love all the green in there, and that's because of all the dampness and the shade. It's just beautiful. Now, like I was saying before, not only on the forest floor, but way high up in the canopies of the trees, there's lots of life that lives up there that actually never touches the forest floor. They live their entire life way up in the canopy. You got like salamanders up there, worms, huckleberry, banana slugs, all kinds of insects, of course. And Sitka spruce as well. So lots of bushes and everything can root in the trees' branches and just live up there their whole life. Yeah, I read that one scientist actually found a 25-foot hemlock tree that was actually rooted around one of the branches of these redwoods way high up. So a 25-foot hemlock tree rooted itself up there and was actually growing and living way high up in the canopy. That's pretty crazy. It's like one of these redwood trees is like its own separate world. Now, like I was saying before, the Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park is my favorite park to go to, which is only about 20 minutes from Crescent City and about 2 hours for me. So yeah, I absolutely love going and hiking. I've hiked all around in there, and just to stand there and just smell the beautiful fresh smell of the forest, and oh my gosh, those trees, it's just the most refreshing smell. You saw in my last video how refreshing it was to just stand in the regular forest up at Fish Lake and smell it, and the redwoods is, for me, even more euphoric. So yeah, these are right here a couple of pictures. This is my mom, pictures that I took of her when she was standing in Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. You can see her standing by this stump. This is the bottom stump of one of these trees, these huge redwood trees. It's not one of the biggest. There's trees that are way bigger than that, but you can see how massive these stumps are with my mom standing next to it. It's just crazy. And then here's another picture of her standing by the trunk of one of these massive redwood trees. Just pretty much dwarfs anything. It's just so beautiful and magical. So yeah, I don't have, I couldn't find any pictures of me standing next to it, unfortunately. I thought I had some, but I'm glad I have some of my mom standing there when we were there last. Haven't been there in quite a while. I want to go so bad. Hopefully soon. I want to do a vlog there really bad. So yeah, when you're standing in the redwoods, it is so quiet. I think there's so many trees clustered together. You know, you got the canopies that cover the top. I don't know, it just it's just so quiet in the redwood forest. I mean, you can just hear a pin drop. It's so quiet, and it's just like the most peaceful feeling. So if like you want to relax, going to the redwood forest, I think for me is the #1 place to relax. It is just, yeah, it's a little bit of heaven on earth. Yeah, I want to show you real quick because I love Final Fantasy. The redwood forests always make me think of one of my favorite zones in Final Fantasy XI. The zone is called the Sanctuary of Zeta right here. This is a screenshot from Final Fantasy XI. It's this beautiful zone that you can see they're like these massive redwood trees. It's been modeled after just like the redwood forest, and there's these crystals all over and just these beautiful, you know, rolling mounds and forest glens you can walk through. That was always my favorite part in Final Fantasy XI when I played it, is the Sanctuary of Zeta. It's just gorgeous, and the music was amazing too. It's just like, bring my character in, and I just kind of stand there and listen to the music. I'm like, oh, I'm sitting at my computer, but I'm kind of in the redwoods a little bit, you know. So yeah, I just had to show you that. I just love that zone. It was just like the redwoods. So I hope you liked the video, Eugenia. This was such a fun video to do. I love to research and script all this. I just find it so much fun. I can't wait to do more documentaries. And I can't wait to actually go to the redwood forest to do a vlog in the redwoods, because that will be amazing. But yeah, I'm not sure how much you knew before on the redwoods, but hopefully this gave you a nice little overview of a place that I find so special and just so spiritually connected there. It's like you just kind of feel just so spiritually connected, and you just kind of feel just a divine presence there. I mean, you're standing in ancient history, and I'm just like the biggest history buff ever, and the biggest animal person ever, and the biggest nature person ever. So it's kind of like all combined in one. It's just so amazing. So I'd love to take you there. That would be so cool to show you that. But yeah, anyway, so I love you so much, and I hope you are having a good day or night, whichever it is for you right now. And I loved making this video for you. It was so much fun to do. So yeah, thought I'd do Jack Skellington today. Love this shirt. So yes. So anyway, I love you lots, Eugenia, and I'm sending you lots of kisses. There you go. And there's some more, and some hugs. So yes, I'm thinking about you, and I'm not sure what my next video will be, but I will let you know when the next video is coming. So anyway, love you lots again, and I'm thinking about you, and hope you have a great day or evening. Okay, bye.